What are some things that I would not do now that I am a 911 dispatcher? Welcome to part 1. My coffee's getting cold. All right, let's talk about some things that I would not do, especially now that I am a 911 dispatcher. And we're gonna finish my makeup while we talk. So some of these things might be kind of obvious. I'm probably gonna have to do a couple different parts about this because there's a lot. Okay, first thing on this list is, and I can hear all the dispatchers already screaming this, know your location. Always know your location. This is such an understated thing in today's world. You know, we live in an age of technology and, GPS phones, being able to pull up like a map right away. But when it comes down to it, when you're having to call 911, you don't want to have to be wasting precious seconds pulling up information on your phone in order to provide that information to dispatch. And yes, we have tools that we can also use, such as mapping and GPS and phone history and Rapid SOS, which is another tool that you can Google. But it's not as accurate as being able to, within those first 5 seconds, get an accurate address from someone calling who needs help. When you're driving around, pay attention to what roadsides you're passing. I cannot tell you how this has saved my life before. Not literally, but you get it. One time, recently, I was driving to my kid's doctor's appointment. I have an older car and it breaks down every once in a while. There's been a lot of issues with it. So just driving along, was paying attention to road signs I was passing. I already knew the name of the street that I was on. I had this feeling, might have been from God, I'm not sure. I had this feeling, I wonder if I'm going to break down at this road. Nothing happened on the way to the doctor appointment, but on the way back, sure enough, at that road, my car broke down. Started to make all these weird noises anyway. So I pulled over at the next safest spot and was able to know, without even looking at the map, what cross street I was at. The mapping in the area, it's a pretty rural area. It was taking a little bit while to pull up on my phone. So I was able to ask for help with, from my husband and my grandfather. Anyway, but point is, always know your location. Know your address. Make sure that your kids know your address as soon as possible when they get to, the age where they're able to understand that. Maybe I should actually finish my eyebrow. Know the addresses or have it somewhere handy for people that you love, your family members, your friends. That way, God forbid, if you need to call for help for them and the dispatcher is asking what address to send help to, you don't have to scramble and go, oh shoot, let me search through text messages or whatever to find it. Also, another point that I forgot to make is that sometimes we can't see your location right away or even at all. Yes, folks, 911 cannot always see your location. I've kind of already talked about this in another video, but could be your phone. You might be in an area where there's not good signal. A lot of different factors can go into this. If you're driving, sometimes that can affect how we see things right away. And another thing that happened to me a few years ago, I was visiting my mom in Nevada and we were on a lake on a boat. While we were driving to the lake, I, being a dispatcher, know how important it is to know where we are. So I said, hey guys, what's the name of this lake? Just in case something bad happens to us. They're kind of teasing me a little bit for being so, safety conscious. Well, my stepfather left to, I think, go pick up his kids. Meanwhile, my mom and my sister and I were on the boat, just kind of floating along, having a good time. We were supposed to go back to the dock to go and pick them up. We soon realized the propeller fell off the boat. There was not a second motor on the boat. So had to call for help, had to have them come and my stepfather and his friends come and tow us back to the dock, and then we got a new propeller. Everything's obviously fine, but if we didn't have family, we would have probably had to call for some type of help to have us, towed back to shore. Okay, that video got way too long, so come back for part 2, okay?